Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to be installing rock lights on Gold Rush. So I've been looking at different ones for a while. Couldn't really decide which ones I wanted. I actually was about to pull the trigger on an Oracle set. And then I got a Facebook ad that looked really interesting for Lux Lighting. And I started researching them. It looks like an American company, small shop. I can't tell if it's actually made in the U.S. or just assembled in the U.S., but a pretty cool concept. What I really liked about them, let me pull one out here, how small and versatile the actual lights are. So this is the whole thing. There are 4 magnets on the back, so that's the entire mounting is. Haven't actually tested how strong these are, but apparently they are very strong, rare earth magnets or whatnot. And just seemed interesting to me, so figured why not give it a try.
Yeah, I mean, you can never have too many lights in a Jeep. So the next evolution here is rock lights, since we have most of the others. And maybe after this, we'll do a top bar at some point.
Maybe. I'm not really interested in the road noise. So when I got this, I did open it up, and just a couple interesting things. First, I thought they sent me the wrong one because they only had 4 terminals inside for 4, but the instructions do say that each terminal can support up to 3 lights. So we'll connect it and see how that goes. One other thing that I did not really like is the other ones that I've worked with in the past actually had like a harness that each one basically has some kind of connector that then just connects this. You're not actually running raw wire. That's not the case here. It's just 4 wires on each one, and you need to run it through these holes and then connect them to these terminals. Haven't done that before. Part of me wanted to tear it apart and just attach harnesses to them, but I really didn't feel like soldering 32 wires. So we'll try it the way that they designed it, and then maybe at some point I'll tear it apart and put some harnesses on it.
Now, once you put them into the module, can you then just maybe drop just a bead of solder here to hold it in so it doesn't fall out?
So, I mean, there are screws there. Those tap screws are definitely going to hold it. I'm actually not concerned about that. It's more of the ease of connectivity that, you're not really getting here. So, anyway, this is going to take a few steps. So first, we're going to find a place to install this. We're going to attach some wires, and then we're actually going to take a break until the sun goes down, because one of the cool things about them just being magnetized is you can play around and get them in the perfect location before actually running the wires, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So we'll install it. We'll come back at night, figure out the perfect location, and we'll probably come back tomorrow and actually do all of the wire running when we have daylight. So let's get to it.
Yep, let's do it.
So the one thing about 392 is we actually have a lot less room under the hood than most Jeeps. So, but it looks like pretty easy. So we want to be really close to the auxiliary wires over here and close to the battery, so we don't have to extend this at all if we don't have to. I think that we can go right there. Now, I'm obviously not going to screw into this, and I don't think double-sided tape work, but I actually do have these Velcro strips. So I think I'm just going to put them on the back of this, and I think that'll actually hold it in place. Yeah, it's going to hold just fine right there. So this is where we're going to run everything to. Actually, pretty easy to put it that way. No screws or anything. I'm actually not really sure where you would screw it to in general. I don't think that I would find anywhere under the hood.
No, I think the screws might be for an interior installation, since you have some auxiliary wires under the glove box. So you can potentially screw it in somewhere inside, down under the glove box.
Yeah, probably. All right, now we can run all the wires for the lights and be ready for nighttime to do final positioning. Since we're just using Velcro, it's really easy to just work here in the garage and not actually work under the hood for all of this. So what we want to do is connect all 8 pods right now to the terminals over here. It said each terminal can take up to 3. We're just going to do 2 for each one of them and just quickly connect them, and then we can connect to power.
First 2 are done?
Yep.
All right, now we'll just do the rest and be right back.
All right, so we have them all connected in there. So when you go and connect onto the hood, you actually run the wires through here, because we're going to be disconnecting them to run all the wires. We didn't bother doing that right now. Going to go plug it in and make sure everything works and get ready for the evening. All right, so we're going to connect our ground over here. 12mm wrench. Just loosen that up. A lot of wires here already, so each time through makes it just a little bit tighter. That's a little annoying. Stock one. That ring that they put on there is too big for that one. So this ring is not big enough for the ground that I want to use. So I cut it, attach it to a different ring. While we're at on this side, we're going to cut this one as well. And we're going to pull out one of the auxiliary wires. This is going to be auxiliary 3, I believe. Turn it on and watch them light up. All right, so I installed the app, and from it you can actually control the colors, the brightness. Pretty cool. So we'll be back tonight when the sun's down so we can get a good look at what it's going to look like underneath. See you then. All right, so I'm back here at night. We have the lights hooked up. So we have 4 of them with 10-foot leads and 4 of them with 20-foot leads. I think I'm going to start by placing 4 of them in the wheel wells and seeing what kind of coverage we get there, and then kind of figure out where else we want to put lights. So it's either going to be 2 on each side or maybe 2 in front and back and 1 on each side. So this is kind of what I'm thinking for coverage. It's set to, I don't know if that's just a super bright white right now, that it almost looks pink, but it actually makes it easier to see exactly where the light is. So I am able to get it right inside of the front wheel well, but if you have steel bumpers, you'll be able to get the wheel wells really well. I have aluminum bumpers, and on the back, there's really nowhere to put it in. So what I did is I attached to the frame, just pointing down, so it'll get more of the rock lights, but not so much the wheels. Put 1 in back to illuminate everything in back. And same thing on the other side. And then put one right inside the front bumper to illuminate the front. So that's going to do it for today. I'm going to jot down exactly where we want to put these tomorrow. And tomorrow we're going to run all the wires, connect it all. We'll show you a finished product.
And here we are, back on day 2.
Yeah, so last night I pulled all of the wires off and got ready. We're going to run everything through the frame, probably starting in back, working our way to the front. That probably doesn't make very compelling videos, so we're going to do that off camera, and we'll be back when we have everything under the hood.
Yeah, and your exact placement and wire runs will vary depending on where you want to put them. So there's no really need to show that anyway. So
all right, we'll be back. All right, so we have our bundle of wires pulled from all parts of the Jeep. We have a lot of extra slack in this after cutting a lot of them as we were in the process, but we really don't need that much. So we really only need to come about this far. So we'll cut them, strip them, patch them in, and go from there. All right, with all of the wires stripped, we can now take all 8, feed them through these. It does say, luckily I should just use Velcro so we can get it comfortable. It does say that it's going to be a tight fit.
All right, we'll feed all these through the tight holes and be right back.
All right, so we got them all in. We did actually lose a couple of gaskets in the process, but not that big a deal. I'm putting it right here. It's a dry spot under the hood, so not super concerned about that. And I think that this is also cross-used for marine applications where, the gaskets are probably a bit more expensive. I did actually put a drop of WD-40 in each one of them because I was not getting those through at all. So now all we have to do is, just like we did the first time around, we just connect all the wires, 2 per terminal, and then we'll seal it up and get some video of what the lights look like. All right, so everything is wired in, and we're gonna put it where it's gonna live, right here. Let's get the cover on it. That's it. Let's close the hood. Let's turn it on, make sure everything works. So we got the lights installed. Pretty simple install. The hardest part, as expected, was running the wires. Just time consuming.
Yeah, not a big deal. We ran them through the frame just like a lot of the other wires that we did for, what was it,
The rear floodlights.
the floodlights. I'll put a link here somewhere for that.
But yeah, pretty good glow on it. Have really good coverage. I really like the flexibility that we had in terms of where they go just with the magnetic mounts. The one thing that just in my setup doesn't work out, as you can see here, I can get some glow into the wheel well. In back, I couldn't. There was nowhere that was steel to connect it to. Here, it's the stock bracket that we were able to attach to. That's really my only complaint. We'll see how they hold up. I have seen a couple reviews on them that they may not hold up very well. But we'll see how that goes.
All right, what's left?
Stuck it.
On to the next one.
On to the next one.